Well, it's not the immediate end but it's a process that has started, and many countries want to shift to buying oil and major commodities with their own local currencies, including India. You can imagine, and that a lot of countries would like to do this because so far, because of this petrodollar, every country has had to buy oil in dollars and make it part of their strategic reserve. This puts countries into debt, and the US uses it to finance its forever wars.
But do you think, though, I mean,
a very important point that she makes, the professor here, that the IMF, what this happens when we need to understand why this cycle happens, this cycle of oppression and tyranny, which is based on the economic system. The professor, she says that because of the petrodollar system, countries around the world go through severe cycles of debt that they owe to the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, right? And why do they do that? Because they need to keep a specific reserve of dollars in order to trade for oil and other commodities. When they can't do that, they lose dollars, or they don't have enough dollars, they take loans. And they can't pay those loans, they become enslaved. And riba, which is usury, which is not just interest, but riba is any oppressive economic transaction, is riba, where one party is being ripped off. That's riba. So riba here is literally killing countries, impoverishing millions of innocent people. And that now we can appreciate the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and the ayat from the Quran, that why Allah and His Messenger have declared a war against riba. It's in Surah Al-Baqarah that they have declared a war against riba, because riba, this oppressive economic system, is the cause of the death and the misery of millions of people. And we see that that is the number one way in which the US became a superpower. And we are seeing that being undermined and being challenged by Russia. And one last thing that I remember, she mentioned what happens is when countries, poorer countries or underdeveloped countries, then are stuck in the cycle of debt to the IMF, the conditions that the IMF poses is ultra corporatization of its sectors. So you see privatization of resources of countries. So that again basically is a kind of neo-colonialism, wherein you have these very, very big corporations, global corporations and banks taking over the resources of countries and enslaving them and enslaving the people. These are the people who then undermine the elections. They control the election. They control who comes into power. And you see that the common person suffers, whereas only the elite enjoy, and the wealth goes from the masses to this elite. The wealth is controlled by very few people. So extremely, extremely oppressive people, an extremely, extremely oppressive system.